So for templates, we have file templates. These can be used and created in the web app, and then the email templates naturally through the Outlook app. So for file templates, what they will do is essentially create a copy of a file that you have saved as a file template. So it's almost the same thing as copying and pasting a file to create a copy of a file. That maybe you kind of use that file for multiple occasions, and it's a kind of file that's going to be common for a whole bunch of your clients. However, what you can also do with these templates is use merge fields to populate them with client information from the Xero apps. So that's also kind of what makes these file templates really useful. The basic way to create a file template is to, first of all, have a file created. Now you can create just a normal file with whatever content you'd like, and then save that as a template. And that's very simple. But if you would like to use the Xero integration as part of these templates, which I believe you guys are using XPM. Yeah, that's right. I think you guys are actually planning on setting up with 2 XPM accounts, if I'm right. But yeah, so what you can do is you can use these merge fields. What these merge fields do in a file template is it will pull the relevant information for the client that you choose from the Xero Practice Manager. So for this merge field here that says client business name, it's going to pull the business name for whatever client we choose out of the Xero Practice Manager app. We have a list of these merge fields that you can use. If we go to our Help Center, suitehelp.suitefiles.com, if we go down to the Xero integration section and we go into the Xero Practice Manager, there's an article here for Xero Practice Manager fields for templates. You can use this to retrieve these fields that you can use in the template. So the client business name one, for example, and you can just copy and paste these, or you can just type them out, but it needs to be exactly as they are here, including the square braces. It has to be exactly in that format. Now it will give you a list on the right hand side here that pretty much just has the same information as on the right hand side of the merge field here. But you can use this list to retrieve these merge fields and copy and paste them into a file like so. And then what you can do is to save that file as a template. You can either do it while you have the file open in the browser. You could click on the 3 dots next to the file name here and then click Save as a Template. Another way you can do it is if we go back to the folder that the file is in, we can go to the far right hand side of the file and then click the Save as Template button. Now this option to save this file as a template is only going to be available for users who are either SuiteFiles admins or users who have permissions to manage templates. Standard users without those permissions will not be able to save a file as a template. They will still be able to use a file template to create a new file. They just won't be able to save a file template. So when you click the Save as Template button, it will automatically fill in the text field for the name of the template with the file name. However, you can change this to whatever you'd like. I'm just going to go like so. And once you've provided a name for your file template, you can click the Save Template button. Now, when you save a file as a template, it actually creates, I guess, a copy of that file and puts it into a template section in SuiteFiles. So this file that we just turned into a template remains a completely normal file. This isn't the template. It's not linked to the template, and updating this file here won't make any updates or change anything with that template that we just saved. They're entirely separated. Now, if you have permissions to manage templates, so you've either been given permissions to do so or you are a SweetFiles admin, then you can go to the More tab, and underneath this, you can go into the Manage Templates section. And this is where you can access the template from. So you can see our file template is appearing here. You can click on the template to open it. This is our file template. We can edit it if we'd like to by clicking the Open in Office or Edit in Browser button. The other really useful thing that we can do from this template manager is if we go to the top right of the screen, just underneath our username really, there's this list icon. So if we click on this list icon, it actually pops out this panel from the side. Now the really, really useful thing about this is in the client information section, we can click on this drop-down list and we can select one of our clients. And what you will see underneath it is a bunch of the merge fields that you can use. And what it will also do is it will fill in with the relevant information for that client if it has it. So we can see that we've chosen the 99 Corporation client. We can see that if we use the client business name merge field, and then we're populating the template with the 99 Corporation client, well then the business name merge field, this one here, is going to be replaced with 99 Corporation. We can see that our IRD number will be filled in. The IRD number, or for you guys, it's the, I think it's the ABN, that will be masked. That's something that Xero did a few months ago. Unfortunately, as this information comes from Xero, we can't actually retrieve the full IRD number if you need, or the ABN number. If you need the full number, that's something you have to get directly from the Xero app. What we can also see though is merge fields which don't have any information. So what we can use this for is to see whether merge fields might be the right ones to use in our file templates. And we can almost use it to kind of simulate what the output would be. So it's really, really handy to make use of this. It's a lot easier than playing around by copying and pasting all of these merge fields and seeing whether they fill in or not. These merge fields here will actually show you what information they're going to populate with, which is really, really handy. In the template manager, if we go back to managing templates, and you can click on this list icon again to hide that panel. If we're in our template manager section, the other thing we can do is we can create template categories. Again, remember this is something that only admins or users who have permissions to manage templates can do. But what you can do here is you can actually create template categories. So if you've created like 100 file templates and you're going to create a file using a template, then with 100 file templates to scroll through, kind of makes it a little bit difficult to find the right file template. So what you can do is you can actually create a template category. They function really similar to folders, except that there is only one level. So what you can do is where it says categories on the left-hand side, you can click the plus icon. You can provide a name for your new template category. So we're going to call this marketing. You can click the create category button. This will create your new template category. And what you can then do is from your list of file templates in your site, you can click on the three dots at the right-hand side, and you can go down to the add to category option. When you hover over this button, it will show you the categories that you can select from. And what you can then do is you can click to select the category you'd like to assign that file template to. So I'm going to click on marketing. We can see the file template will still be displayed under our view of all of the templates. And if I click on the category for marketing, I can also see that that file template is now there. We can right click on categories if we need to delete or rename the category. And yeah, that's the That's pretty much everything from the template manager side of things. Now, to use our file templates, this is something that any users, regardless of permissions, can do, unless you don't have permission to a folder. But to use a file template, it's pretty simple. I'll just go into a client folder first. But what you can do is you can click on the blue create button at the top right here. You can select the file from template option. And from here, we can see a list of all of our file templates. We can do a search for a file template by typing in part of the file name. But what we can also do is we can click on our template categories to see which file templates belong to that category. So you can see that it becomes much easier to find our file templates, and it's just much more organized in general. What we can do is when we've found the file template that we'd like to use, we can click on the file template. This left-hand side text field here will have the name that the file is going to be called by default. If you leave that as it is, it will use the name of the template. So my new file would just be called Welcome to SweetFiles May 2018 template. If we'd like to change the name, we can just type in our own name here. And if the client matches between XPM and SweetFiles, then this field here will actually automatically fill in with the client to use. So you can see that because I'm in the 99 Corporation client folder, it's automatically selected the client to be 99 Corporation, and it's selected that from XPM. The clients won't necessarily always auto-fill in. If you have like groups in XPM or group folders and SweetFiles, that kind of thing, it's very unlikely to fill in automatically for you. Or if the name just doesn't match, if the formatting's different. So if that's the case, you'll be presented with this text field instead that says choose a client. What you can do in here is type in the name of a client, and then you can select it from the drop-down list that appears below. And you can hover over this red button and then click delete if you want to remove that client and select a different one. Oops. Once you've done that, if you would like to populate that file template, now this file template we did have merge fields in, so I do want to populate it. Then when you have a client selected, you can click the create button, and that's going to create the new file using that template, populating the merge fields with the client that I selected. So we had the 99 Corporation client selected. So what it's done is it's filled in the information for our 99 Corporation client. It's filled in the business name, the address. It's put in today's date. It's put in I think the primary contact's name, and it's also put in at the bottom here our account manager, I think. So it's populated all of those merge fields. If you just want to create a copy of a file without populating merge fields, then when you go through that create new file using template process, so create a file from template, and we'll just quickly select the same file. If you want to create it without populating anything, then you can just remove the client, not select the clients, but leave everything else the same. And then when you create that file, it's just going to create a copy of that file template as a new file. And we can see that it hasn't populated anything with the client. So that's how file templates work and how they can be used. The process for email templates is very similar, but we'll still go through that and what that looks like. If anyone has any questions regarding the file templates, please feel free to let me know now. Otherwise, we will move on to email templates. Cool. Okay, so for email templates, The way that these work is if we create a new email, the first thing you actually want to do if you're using email templates is remove your signature. Now, email templates, you don't have to have permissions to create them. If you want to delete them or rename them, anything like that, then you would have to have permissions to manage templates. But for simply creating a new email template, you don't have to have any special permissions to do so. It's just a little bit different there. To create an email template, similar to a file template, this time we just want to create a new email with the content of the template that we'd like. I'm just going to cheat and fill it in with a template I already have. And we can see here that we have some email contents, we have merge fields, we have a merge field even in the subject name, and we also have an attached file. Now, we don't want to use signatures if we're creating an email template because it will double up the signature. It will save the signature as part of the email template, and then when you go to create a new email, it would fill in your signature using the template, and then Outlook would fill in your signature as well. So that's why it would create a double up. So take out your signature from here if you've already got one filled in. Now, the only difference really with this email template is this attached file is actually a file template itself, just because it has merge fields. You don't have to use merge fields in it, but what you can do is you can have an attached file with these merge fields as an attached file in your email, and then we can save this whole thing as an email template. So if we click on the Save as Email Template button, we can provide a name for our new email template. And then there's a little checkbox here for whether we want to include attachments as part of the email template. For this one we do, so we want to tick that and then click the Create Template button. This is going to save our email as a new template. Now if I go to create a new email, to use an email template to create a new email, I go to the Insert from Template drop-down, and then I select the name of the email template I'd like to use. The paperclip icon just means that it's an email template that includes attached files. I select my email. If I don't want to fill in any merge fields with any client information, I can just select Don't Pre-Populate. If I'd like to populate merge fields with client information, we want to click on the drop-down list next to where it says Choose a Client. We want to select the client we'd like to pre-populate it with, and then would like to click the pre-populate button. Now we can see that the merge fields in the email have filled in. We can see that one merge field hasn't. This merge field never actually fills in for this client. And that's just because this client doesn't have this information as a field in XPM filled in. Now, the other thing is the merge field in the subject lines filled in. The file name for the attached file has actually populated the client's name. And if we open up the attached file, the merge fields in this attached file will also be filled in with the client's information. So you can attach files that have merge fields as part of your email template, and they will also populate with the client's information. Yeah, so that's how email templates work. You can't use merge fields for email addresses, unfortunately. That's just a limitation for the to field. Yeah, we can't do it.